Hey Geekscapists, Jonathan the Podfather here, and when I first started Geekscape back in 2006, it was just a podcast, but then it grew into a podcast network and a community, and the whole plan was to turn it into a production company so we could make cool films and TV ideas and all sorts of stuff for you guys. We'll always be doing the podcast, but right now I want to let you guys know that we're running a Seed and Spark campaign for one of our first original productions. And this is a co-production with Dweeb Darlings and Fonco Studios called Stalking LeVar. It's a continuation of the web series Stalking LeVar. If you go online, go to YouTube or dweebdarlings.com and look for Stalking LeVar, and you guys will find a pretty fun 2 seasons of this show. We're going to make a short film out of it, but we're going to need your help. So go to seedandspark.com, search Stalking LeVar, as in LeVar Burton, and you'll find our project. Listen, if you can't donate, it's okay. Just follow and share. That'll help us out a whole lot. And then if you can donate, as some of your fellow Geekscapists have, we'd appreciate that too. The campaign's going to be running for a while, so I really, really appreciate you guys checking it out, and enjoy the rest of this show.
Hey! Maybe I'm just nostalgic, or maybe it's truly magical. Oh, when I see that castle, the feeling is truly magical. Maybe I'm just nostalgic. Maybe it's truly magic. Maybe I'm just nostalgic. Maybe it's truly magic.
This is Andrew.
And I'm Brooke.
And this is the DisNeato podcast. Guys, last week, Brooke couldn't remember what movie Maleficent was in, so, Brooke, we decided
to fire me from the podcast.
Yeah. Done. No, just kidding. We love you. No, we decided, much like when I hadn't seen Moana, we needed to bone up on our overall Disney knowledge. So producer Matt got a copy of Sleeping Beauty. Somehow it's in the vault, but he still managed to get a copy of it. But he grabbed it for us to watch.
Now, instead of doing a running commentary of the movie, because that's far too long of an episode, what we're going to do is watch the movie and pause it every 30 or so minutes, or whenever we have something to say, to record our thoughts and feelings of the movie. So Andrew, when was the last time you saw Sleeping Beauty? Exactly, me too.
Pre-millennial probably, and probably saw it once.
I was probably sub 6 years old.
Mm-hmm. Agreed.
So that's been a minute.
To be honest, I have, at this point, no real recollection of the storyline or anything like that, so this is kind of going to be like seeing it for the first time.
I mean, I didn't even remember Maleficent was in this, so you know what kind of knowledge I'm working with.
Yeah, this will be good, hopefully. We have a disclaimer.
Our setup for watching the movie is a little rigged. So I don't have a DVD player.
I bought this.
It's
on
2018
DVD for you guys.
Yeah, he bought it on DVD.
It's 2018, Matt.
It's 2018. We need digital copies.
Give me that pirated version.
I tried to find it. I have Apple TV, so I tried to find it on every app. It's not available. I tried to put the DVD into a disc player connected to my Mac and then AirPlay it to my TV. That wasn't working. So what I did was I downloaded the YouTube app, found a version on YouTube that this guy, so this is the setup. We're watching a video of a guy's very fancy living room with his 120-inch curved screen TV, and he's playing Sleeping Beauty for us to watch. And it is super high quality, but the TV itself only takes up a quarter of my actual TV, so it's just weird. I wish I could take a picture and show you all what we're working with here.
Oh, producer Matt Kelly's going to snap a photo.
Check the Facebook page to
or
see
maybe
what we're
our
doing
Twitter?
here. Or the Twitter.
And tweet us about it.
Yeah. So, yeah, this is what we're working with here. Sorry.
Real quick before we start, here's a quick thing from the Wikipedia page.
Okay.
Sleeping Beauty is a 1959 American animated musical fantasy film produced by Walt Disney based on The Sleeping Beauty. It is the 19th Disney animated feature film. It was released on January 29th. And this would be the last Disney adaptation of a fairy tale for some years because of its initial mixed reaction reception and its underperformance at the box office. The studio actually did not return to the genre until 30 years later after Walt Disney died in 1966 with the release of 1989's The Little Mermaid.
All right, let's see
So this murdered the fairy
why it
tale
was
animated
the
film.
worst.
So this was the last. Okay.
All right,
Oh,
I'm
God.
going to hit play. Are we ready?
We got our wine.
I'll see you guys later.
I know you. I walked with you once upon a dream.
All right, guys. So we got through the first 29, 30 minutes. Thoughts?
First thought is this is not actually projecting from someone's TV in their living room. This is a shitty Photoshop job of, a movie playing in someone's living room, but it's not actually.
It's such a bad photo.
It's horrible. So
The movie.
the movie. Thus far, I am really bored. I have to admit. We're 28 minutes in, so we've got an hour left, like almost exactly an hour left. And I'm bored.
I hope the last 15 minutes are credits.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So let's talk about that first scene of bullshit.
So which one? When they're all like, "Oh, hail, Princess Aurora."
Or are you talking about the... So I have... These are the... So I'll read off some of the notes that I have and we'll go from there.
Yes.
First of all, opening theme, not thrilling at all.
What's it? Once Upon a Dream?
Yeah, but it's like a very bland... certain Disney songs were like this and then other ones weren't. But it's like a very...
Snoozy.
Yeah, and then we have the book opening, where it's the live action book, which they did previously. That's how the Adventures of Ichabod Crane and Mr. Toad was it was live action books, and then they would open it and it would zoom into the book for the story. But I don't remember if they did that for other things outside of that.
They did it for Winnie the Pooh later on. But
That wasn't done for Snow White or Cinderella, was it?
I don't think so.
and it's not done for Cinderella. I know that for sure. I don't think it's done for Snow White either, but maybe. I didn't like the whole marching procession thing after Aurora was born, where they're singing "Hail, Princess Aurora" and all that. That was just kind of drawn out and weird.
It reminded me of the Who's in Whoville in the Grinch cartoon, the way that they were moving and the way that they were shaped. It was very weird.
It was
very
weird.
South Parky movements.
Yeah.
It's a little shuffling.
I'm very disturbed that Prince Philip is 12 years old and being promised to a newborn baby, and he's looking at her in the crib, in the little bassinet, just staring yep, I'm gonna get that. That's weird, and it's creepy, and it made me feel uncomfortable, so not into it.
He's looking at a newborn babe being
He's not
told...
even a toddler. They're not even oh, look at my toddler son. We'll,
Yeah.
betroth them. He can wipe his own ass. That's how old he is. He's old enough.
I mean, and during that time, at 12 years old, he's
You're a man.
He's a man.
You should have kids by now.
So it's basically an adult being promised a newborn baby to procreate with upon her
blossoming,
which they then kind of lead into with that whole red floral tunnel.
Yeah, so every time the fairy godmothers bestowed a gift upon her, I mean, of course, it's beauty and song and all the important aspects to a woman. I hated that little weird galaxy thing that would appear, and then you LSD up into this little thing, and I don't know what's going on, and it was weird. And then Maleficent just shows up, and she's all pissed she wasn't invited, and they're like, "Oh, but you're not gonna be mad, right?" And she's like, "No, but I'm gonna kill this bitch."
Yeah.
And they're just like, "Oh no!" And it's you couldn't stop that at all.
Maleficent is honestly the best part of this movie so far, though, by a wide margin.
I mean, she has the most character development for sure.
Yeah. I like the drawing style of her. I like her mannerisms are the only thing that seems like a genuine human being, how they would act. Everything else is so perfection fairy tale world that it's kind of jarring. And it's weird to think that this followed Lady and the Tramp. That was the movie that came out right before this one.
That's weird. Lady and the Tramp is so much better already.
Yeah.
And then Aurora going to live or be raised by the fairy godmothers. Mm-hmm. It's just weird. I think it's just weird.
And she They skip the whole childhood. We know nothing about that. And then one day she's just
30, aka 16.
Mm-hmm.
She looks old as hell.
13 going on 30.
For real.
Yeah, and was sent to pick berries while the fairy godmothers prepare her birthday gown and
then there's
cake.
just like 5 minutes of her doing opera in the woods with birds.
Copying Snow White.
It's freaking weird, dude.
Yeah.
It's
Favorite
boring.
line.
It's boring.
Well, favorite line so far was the
this dress doesn't even look good, or something like that.
because it's on you.
Yes, because it's on you, dear. It's like, oh, savage.
Throwing shade in 1959.
Yeah, Flora.
So they've been living without magic for 16 years, and none of them know how to bake.
Yeah, what have they been eating?
Just berries.
Berries. The whole time.
Fucking berries.
Let's see. Is there any
That's
other?
why her lips are so pink. The berries.
Yeah, I like how Maleficent already knows what this young baby child infant Aurora is going to look like when she's 16.
You know, another thought. She's had her hench animals,
The pigs.
the pigs, searching for Aurora for 16 years. And at the end of that is when she realizes they were searching for a baby the whole time. So my thing is,
Why? If you knew what
is she
looked
not
like,
managing her employees?
yeah, what is she doing? They are running wild.
You
out
just send them away for 16 years
They're
and
running
don't
wild.
follow up?
Yeah. Give them some help. Be like, this bitch has blonde hair and ruby red lips. She's a Taylor Swift lookalike.
Yeah.
Go find her.
She sings.
And they're like, oh, damn, this whole time we were looking for a baby Maleficent? Shit, we'll go find her.
Cradle?
Yeah. And she's like, you're looking for a baby? It's like, well, you should be a little more, explicit in what you're looking for.
And I can already get the sense that her parents never followed up to really see how she was doing through her childhood. You could tell right away that they were that kind of out
they were
of
just
touch.
like, oh, bye. Okay.
Thank God.
A couple other things here I wrote down. It feels like there's a song every 5 minutes, but none of them are catchy.
What was there?
I already
a song?
forgot them.
What
Yeah.
songs?
It was kind of just chanting of the script behind the script.
And then I have that you are building your Hocus Pocus Sleeping Beauty connection.
I am. The three fairy godmothers are actually just the Sanderson sisters. And the book in the beginning is just the Book of Spells. So I'm just saying something's going on here.
It's real.
We had a note about Beauty's sinister picking berries smile.
Yeah. Why is she just giving them this evil smile as she goes off to pick berries?
Very snarky.
I mean, obviously, I think what they're getting at is that she knows they're up to something, but it's weird and kind of out of place.
you guys.
Yeah, it's very Grinchy almost.
Yeah. They're very... I noticed they're very expressive with the eyebrows in the animation here. A lot of eyebrow movement amongst the characters.
My thing is, we're 30 minutes in, and I have no emotional attachment to Aurora whatsoever.
We're 30 minutes in and Sleeping Beauty's still awake.
Well, I mean, there's still an hour left. That's a long time to be asleep.
I don't know if it's actually 90 minutes, though, because the back of this DVD case says 74 minutes.
Yeah,
That's
I mean,
an
we
hour.
could spend, 20 minutes just looking at this guy's fake-ass living room. I'm not sure. But it's boring. It's boring. I mean, right now we're looking at Prince Philip. He's got to be 47 at this point. I mean, that's cool, I guess.
Starting to collect his pension.
I'm bored. Maybe it'll pick it up. I don't know.
All right,
The trees are done really well, though. In
This
the
was
background.
published on October 21st of 2017. This guy couldn't do a better Photoshop job in 2017. Come on.
All right, let's start it again and see where the next
All right,
30
let's
minutes
hope things
takes
get
us.
better.
I was looking into some of the information on this particular movie on the Wikipedia page, specifically with its release. So it says that during its original run, it grossed approximately $5.3 million in the theaters, but its production costs totaled $6 million, which made it the most expensive Disney film up until that point, over twice as expensive as the preceding three films Alice in Wonderland, Peter Pan, and Lady and the Tramp, which I think all three of those movies look better than this movie looks.
And we're fantastic.
And it talks about how basically like Disney had to do their first ever layoffs because of how much of a flop this movie was.
Well, I know why.
But here's the thing. So critically, they raved about the animation, and it says here, nevertheless, the film has sustained a strong following, and today is hailed as one of the best animated films ever made.
It is heavily talked about, Sleeping Beauty.
Yeah, its lush music score and the character of Maleficent, whose popularity led her to be the flagship villain for the Disney Villains franchise, and its large format 70mm widescreen and stereophonic sound presentation. So I feel like the movie's more hailed for like I feel like this is comparable to like Fantasia, where it's like it did a lot of like technical things that animated.
It was like
films had.
firsts
Yeah.
for things.
But like I don't think it's not
The story
entertaining.
is garbage.
It's very slow.
It's so slow. I feel like nothing has happened.
I keep yawning.
So we were an hour in now, and she's met Prince Philip, even though she doesn't know that it's Prince Philip and that's her betrothed. Hilarious that she finds this man in the woods, or like he finds her, and she doesn't flip the hell out, because I would. And they start dancing.
Well, she kind of is like, no, pulls away.
She's playing hard to get. She's, like we discussed, as we're watching this, we're like, damn, she's thirsty as hell. She wants that Prince D. And
She's hot and cold.
yeah, he's like ready to give it to her, and she starts running away. And he's like, when will I see you again? And she screams, never, never, and keeps running, gets back home, and she's like, I met a man, he's meeting me here tonight. And I'm like, whoa, bitch, you just screamed never in his face.
off a rocker.
You're making her sound more angry than she was. I think it's hilarious because he goes, when will I see you again? She goes, oh, never. Like, very, like...
No, I thought
Maybe
she
she was
screamed
being
it.
sarcastic?
Yeah.
I don't know.
All I know is her speaking voice does not match with her singing voice
No, so
at
she's
all.
like, oh, I'm Aurora. And she's like, whoa. And it just doesn't make sense.
You got two songs pretty much back to back. There was I Wonder, which was whatever.
Again, I still am not noticing the difference
yeah.
of songs throughout
They all
this
sound
movie.
the same. Nothing important has happened. We're at the hour mark. This bitch is still awake. She's not asleep yet. Everything moves so slow. There's all these really unimportant, irrelevant shots they're doing, like staring under the bridge to the castle for like 5 seconds. The whole scene with like her father, King Stefan, fighting with King Hubert
That's the
seemed
best.
unnecessary.
It's the best part of the movie, though. Because you have the drunk
No,
part.
the drunk musician is the best part. And he's just giving himself more wine, which is exactly what Andrew and I want to do. To get through this movie. This is painful.
I'm trying to see if there's anything else here that we didn't really cover. There was Philip with his horse. Did you want to talk about the accuracy of Philip and his horse?
When you ride a horse, to get your horse to do anything, you have to promise it oats and carrots.
So there was something accurate in this movie, at least. There was
That's
one thing.
exactly what you have to do. That's very accurate. It's how I learned to ride.
I think we concluded that Merryweather is absolutely the best of the three fairies.
Yes.
Sanderson sisters, you mean?
Yes.
She's the best of the Sanderson
And
sisters.
she is also the funniest Sanderson sister.
Mary is the funniest. Well, Sarah's pretty funny too.
Yes.
That's a different story.
Mary, when she's on the damn vacuum,
So good.
that's when I lose it every
I
time.
like when she's watching the commercial with the baby and she makes that sound. She's like, "Wah!" So good.
Let's see. Another note I have here is Nailed It, the Disney edition.
Oh, yeah.
The cake.
So you can't make a damn cake, and it's just like Nailed It on Netflix. If you haven't watched it, you're missing out. Please do so.
They're fighting over the dress color, and that's what tips off Maleficent's crow of Aurora's.
16 years of not using magic.
And then they fuck it up that quick.
But we've questioned this. We've questioned the controversy of if they haven't been using magic.
Well, yeah, because they didn't know how to cook. They didn't know how to make a dress. So how is Aurora getting her damn clothes? How is she eating? She's pretty skinny, but like she's alive, so she's not starved.
Yeah. They are clearly not starved.
Yeah,
Although they're
those-
not human.
That's right. They're fairies.
definitely some unanswered questions here.
Yeah.
That
And
they had plenty of time through this freaking film to address.
I'm really frustrated by like Maleficent hypnotizing her, leading her up these stairs. She moves so slowly, and the fairies look like they were moving quick, and they still can't catch her. I don't get it.
I had written down here, and it was something that we had kind of discussed. The fairies are continuously going the worst way about doing things.
Yeah. Also, so this movie was supposed to be 75 minutes.
Yeah.
So that means it has like 15 minutes left
Yeah, to wrap up everything.
to wrap up everything.
According to what we're watching, there's 20 minutes left, but still, it feels
This
like
is a bad Photoshop job. So who actually knows?
But
Yeah.
like, it doesn't make sense time-wise. It's like nothing's happened for an hour. So like this
Nothing.
last 20 minutes has got to be just plot slammed into
And we
our
don't
face.
really know anything about Aurora, I feel like.
She's beautiful. She can sing.
She's going to go to sleep soon.
Very wishy-washy with men.
Yeah, the Wikipedia says 75 minutes. So this is 15 minutes to wrap up.
Yeah, Wikipedia only has 2 more paragraphs to describe what happens from the point that we're at right now.
Because
God.
it all has to happen right now. Her 30 plus elder, betrothed is going to kiss her. And blah, 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 blah.
Oh, there was a great drunk guy.
We talked about
that.
him.
We did?
Yeah.
Andrew's had some wine as well.
I'm a little... I'm not, yeah. Yep. I am him.
No, he's
He's
so
the
far,
best part. He's great.
I'm hoping Maleficent does some crazy stuff in the last 15 minutes
Well,
to
I mean,
remind me why she's like
yeah,
such a beloved villain.
Maleficent 2 is coming out as well.
Oh, there's a sequel to
There is.
that
There
Angelina
is.
Jolie
Yep.
masterpiece.
Yeah.
And I still never saw that. So does that give the...
So I didn't see Maleficent because I can't stand Angelina Jolie.
Same!
Yes.
That's why I didn't watch it. Fuck that bitch.
Yeah, we can talk about her too on our panel. Anyway,
All right, let's see what happens in the last 15 to 28 minutes.
spoiler alert: she's gonna fall asleep and take a short nap and then be woken up by Prince Philip. That's my prediction.
maybe
You got
she
a prediction?
Yeah, there's going to be a little dramatic scene here in about 3 minutes. That'll go about 12 minutes. And then
then it's
last
over.
3 minutes is kiss, a song, wedding,
Dancing.
and then the end.
They're dancing in the woods. Isn't that how it ends? And
Yes.
then they close the book.
And the little birds and rabbits are in there somewhere.
And the owl.
Yes, and the owl.
Yeah. Okay, let's
And
do this.
I feel like I remember a dragon. That's the only thing I remember.
Oh my God!
There's no dragon. There's no room in this plot.
There's a dragon. I swear, there's a dragon. How are we gonna
Oh my gosh.
How are we gonna do this?
Let's see how they tie this all together in 15 to 20 minutes.
All right. See you soon.
Don't touch anything.
Touch the spindle. Touch it, I say.
So we're done.
Hallelujah.
I mean, if we do another one of these, we know it's only got to go up from here.
I'm ready for bed.
Yeah. So the notes that I have here.
Boring.
We got Aurora falls asleep. Pretty much right when we stopped, it was right before she fell asleep.
Yes.
We all equally thought that she was going to be in like a glass coffin, but we were all thinking of Snow White,
Yeah.
which is just part of the many ways.
She
that
was
this
laying
movie
in the
is
bed, and I was like, wait a second. This isn't right.
So the fairies decided they're going to put everybody to sleep until the spell's broken, which just seems like a really fucked up plan.
Yeah, everyone's asleep until we can figure out what the fuck to do. And I'm just like, people trying to live their life. Like, they're just normal folk. And you're just like, fuck all y'all. Go to bed for however long and waste your lives while we try to solve this. That was weird. The whole thing with like Maleficent, the castle, that seemed unnecessary.
It was so drawn out.
It was so drawn out. Like, just go in there, free the prince, and let's start this thing. Also, the one thing we kept saying throughout the movie was like, if these fairies have powers, why aren't they like teleporting things and doing all this stuff? And we didn't see any of that until it came time to save Prince Philip as he was trying to escape. Like, they're shooting rainbows to like make bridges and turning arrows into flowers. But then they get to that thorny like bush on the way to the castle, and they're just like, like chopping down one limb at a time. And it's like, you were just shooting rainbows out of your wand. Like, what are you doing here?
And when she turns the crow to stone,
It's after all the damage has been done at that point.
Yeah.
They could have done that 10 minutes prior.
Just shoot him into a little bubble.
They'd have been back. We could have actually seen these two have a nice little life for the last 10 minutes. Mm-hmm. Nope.
So you had called out one positive, which was that you said that the horse animation was very accurate.
So when Prince Philip's going back to like the cabin where Maleficent's waiting for him, the horse cantering through the woods, that was actually very well done. Like the illustrations were great. The mechanics of the horse were really nice. So that was good. So like when we were talking sort of about like the acclaims of the movie, like in the illustrations and the animation being very well done, that was really good. I was actually really impressed by that. But that's it.
I don't get the praise that this movie has.
I don't really get it. I don't know why Maleficent is the face of the Disney villains.
Her plan's kind of fucked up, which I do like. Like, her plan is like, I'm only going to keep you here until you're super old, and then I'm going to let you go and wake up the princess, who will still be 16, and you'll be like 90, about to die.
Yeah.
So like 15 years from now.
Yeah, because he was already old. But what's in it for Maleficent? You know, there was just, I like when villains have some depth to them.
Or at least a motivation.
Yeah,
like
and she was she did like, this is like the freaking Housewives of Germany or something. She was upset she wasn't invited to a damn party. So then she had to ruin it for everyone.
Yeah, you bring a good point about the character, because like I feel like not a single character really developed. You just hit the surface of every single one equally.
We know nothing about Aurora.
I know the most about the fairies.
Yeah.
Yeah,
and that's
really
not
the
much.
fairies movie.
Yeah, it was much more about them.
Yeah, you know nothing about anyone.
But there are people who love this movie. So, like, I want the people who do love this movie to, like, email us and let us
Defend
know.
yourself.
Yeah, why do you connect with it? Why is it so good to you? That's what I want to know. Why?
Because I look at this list of movies before and slightly after, and it's definitely a weak spot.
I can't get into that movie at all. I can see why I haven't watched it since I was 4. I was probably 4 and I was like, this sucks.
I'm trying to think. Was there anything going on in the world around that time that would provide any insight as to why it's so shitty?
I think, if I recall correctly, this was right around when Walt Disney's main focus was putting together Disneyland. Like, I think this was one of those movies where he kind of stepped away from being a creative and focused all of his energy on getting his amusement parks off the ground.
Mm-hmm.
But, yeah, this was...
But, I mean, this movie still is a classic. Like, so many people love this movie.
I was so disappointed by the dragon.
Like, she's one of the Disney princesses.
Yeah.
Her castle is the castle of...
That's Cinderella's castle.
No, I was going to say in Disneyland. Disneyland's castle is Sleeping Beauty's castle.
It's funny. Walt Disney was creating Sleeping Beauty's castle in Disneyland while the snooze of a movie was being put out.
How much is that? It's like you're putting all this investment into this amusement park and you're making this castle the centerpiece and it's your biggest flop. Like... it was so boring. We know nothing about Aurora. How am I supposed to connect with her? You know, Matt, you talked about while we were watching, like, there's no big musical number in it that we can sort of learn anything about her and connect with her and make her human on some level.
Yeah.
She's a baby, and then she's a 16-year-old who's just thirsty, trying to, be with a man. And that's it. That's all you know about her.
You know what? Every Disney movie has that, like, lesson, purpose, like that
moral.
Theme. Yeah, the moral.
There's not one here, I feel like.
No. I feel like the story of Sleeping Beauty's, like, maybe 5 pages long. Like, I don't think it's a very long fairy tale. Like, not that any of them are, like, novels most of the time.
Well, she falls asleep. What's she going to do?
I mean, right before we went to our last break, I was like, there's definitely a dragon in this. Like, I was like, all excited, because it's the only thing I remember about this movie.
It's there for 30 seconds.
Yeah, it is a disappointing, weak-ass dragon scene. The best part was the animation of Philip's
his sword fighting. Yeah, he's just, like, swatting that fly in the air. With, like, a blindfold on. He has no idea what he's doing with his sword.
Do you know what movie came after this one, though?
So it would be in the 60s.
It was 1961.
Pinocchio.
You watched it recently.
Mary Poppins.
Sorry, animated film.
Oh, animated. What did I watch
101
recently?
Dalmatians.
101
Dalmatians was the next movie that they did. So this was sandwiched in between Lady and the Tramp and 101 Dalmatians.
Wow, both those movies are so much better. So much better than this.
Like, Lady and the Tramp's one of my favorites.
I love Lady and the Tramp.
I feel like we
love
need
it.
to do this again, but with any other movie. But Sleeping Beauty, and I think we'd have a blast.
So I kind of want to watch Snow White,
Yeah.
Okay.
like one of their very first ones, and compare it to this one.
I'll track that down, and I'll actually get a DVD player next time.
Yes.
Yeah, it might be on Apple TV. We might actually be able to get it to work. You never know.
If not, we could try to reference this YouTube channel again.
Yeah, I would love to see this dude's fake ass Photoshop living room
Photoshop
again.
Larry.
Yeah, I can't. I don't have much to say. I didn't enjoy it. I really didn't.
Some 13-year-old kid from Wyoming. Well, guys, that was our kind of pseudo live review of Sleeping Beauty as we watch it and talk through it. Next week, we will be discussing some more Disney news as we begin to, we're about, midsummer now, so it's time to reflect on some of our fun memories of Disney throughout the summers and see what's coming down the pipeline for the upcoming fall.
If you have any topics you'd like to talk about, if you want to discuss your love or disliking of Sleeping Beauty, let us know. You can email us at disneatopodcast@gmail.com. You can find us on Facebook with our DisNeatos group, or you can hit us up on Twitter at
DisNeato Podcast.
DisNeato Podcast, I mean.
I think our page name is DisNeatos.
These are too many page names to remember.
Podcast.
I'll get it right eventually. One day.
Hey, who are you?
Hi, I'm Andrew.
And I'm Brooke.
All right, you can do that for real, sorry.
Yeah, do it for real. Fuck
Now-
it, we'll
now
do it
I'm thrown
live.
off. Do I say hi to Xander or this is
Yeah,
Xander?
this is how we start every podcast.
You don't say that you're Brooke.
Yeah, you could say you're me. I'll be like, and I'm Andrew.
Just kidding.
Tricked you.
All right.
You're listening to the Geekscape Network. You're listening to the Geekscape Network.